Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of Extra Time.
Everybody.
On a Friday, feeling extra good with Jan Agafiortov, Stuart Robson, and Alejandro Moreno, and your questions. First one for you, Ale. Has Messi been the worst signing of the season? He has the highest wage, the performance is very mediocre, and he missed a penalty in the first leg, which in hindsight cost PSG's elimination from the Champions League. A lot of editorial in there.
I am pretty sure, pretty certain that on Wednesday, after the show, when we did Extra Time, I was asked this very same question. And I said then, and I'll say it now, Messi got more than 7 touches in the game. I'm going to suggest that maybe Lukaku. I'll take Lukaku over Messi in terms of the worst signing.
There it is. There's always Lukaku to fall back on. Jan, what are the chances of Messi of winning another Ballon d'Or before retiring from football? This is probably a good moment to acknowledge all the changes in the Ballon d'Or.
Sure, go ahead.
First, the award period.
Okay.
No longer the European. No longer the calendar year.
Yeah.
Now the European season. It's not just journos voting, which I know the players will be very happy about. Didier Drogba is going to be among those voting.
Good.
Only representatives from the top 100 men's national teams and top 50 women's national teams will be allowed to vote. That, of course, the FIFA rankings, which are very accurate.
Of course.
And finally, the criteria is changing. So basically, everything's out the window. It's no longer just about your individual performance. It's now about things like quote-unquote collective and quote-unquote player class.
And how do you quantify that?
I don't know.
Well, don't tell me the rules and not clarify the rules for me.
Jan, Messi going to win another Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, of course. He will win. Him or Cristiano Ronaldo will win the next 7 years again. Because what was reported today from France was only the changes. The biggest rule will still stand there, that everybody more or less has to vote for a Portuguese or Argentinian over 30 years. So there's no chance that nobody else will win this again. But they will do it a bit more exciting. Robert Lewandowski will probably score 45 this season in the Bundesliga. No chance there will be an Argentinian or a Portuguese winning again. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Robbo, you agree?
Well, I don't think they should get it, that's for sure. I mean, Ronaldo hasn't been particularly great in the last couple of years. Lionel Messi, I wouldn't say has been particularly great. So, yeah, I think it will change. I think people will realise that those players are probably past their best now.
Ale and Robbo, how big is momentum in football? It felt like the Bernabeu swallowed PSG after the first goal. How can players on the field stop momentum, Ale?
Good
It's
question.
huge, by the way, momentum. It's huge for you as the team who's carrying the momentum, and it's huge for the team who's trying to withstand that momentum and trying to reverse it, trying to change it. And the best way that you can do that, if you are, in this case, PSG, is take the game into the attacking half. Keep possession of the ball over there. Don't go in transition, don't go into explosive plays. No. Keep the ball with a purpose. In the attacking half, you start creating your own opportunities. You start creating your own momentum. But in order to do that, you have to have people moving with the ball and without the ball ahead of you so that you can actually combine. PSG, what they did individually is they stopped running. Which is, let me tell you, Seth, you may not know this, but it's very basic in this sport that you need to run. They stopped running, they stopped moving, they stopped thinking, they stopped playing. They were melting. A team with so much experience individually and as a group, they just completely disappear. So if it is the measure of momentum and the effect that it has on a game, watching the last 30 minutes of this game, then momentum has a huge role in these matches.
Robbo, any strategies for changing momentum?
No, I'm going to go exactly with what Ali just said. It was a brilliant piece of analysis. When you're in control of the game, when you're winning the game, and then suddenly you might have a little bit of a mishap, you try and keep the ball. But there's a key to it. Keep the ball, passing it forward. So you have to have forward runners. You've got to try and keep the ball in the opposition's half. So you're not inviting pressure on yourself. But keep going back to the goalkeeper. Keep going back to your centre half. You invite the opposition to play higher up the field, to press you, win it back. That gets the crowd going. Play that little bit longer, play into the front and play from there. Don't let the opposition start pressing you high up the field and start winning the ball back, because that gets everybody back on side with the home team, as it was the other day for PSG.
Back in the early part of the last decade, Neymar and Pogba were said to be the next big things, but both ended up being a little above average. Where did it all go wrong for them, and who did worse? Jan, you get first crack at this.
Yeah, you mean the World Cup winner Pogba? I just want to know the question.
No. I know. I didn't write I am not Riley, the big golden
I just want to
doodle.
know. I just want to know before we go on. There is a lot of things. I mean, there are some lucky players all around who would love to have Neymar and Pogba's career, but you're right. I mean, first we learned about Neymar. We thought this was a guy from a FIFA game because he looks fantastic. He didn't do a lot, and then he was great again, and then he's kind of lost it. Looks like he's losing a bit of that hunger that you need. But he has won the Champions League. I mean, we have to put that. He's done good for Brazil as well, but he doesn't look good at the moment. As Ali's saying, the basic thing of running instead of walking on a pitch is a good advice. Paul Pogba is a funny thing. I mean, you can't get wise on him. I have no idea, and I'm just a Norwegian sitting in the guest room doing a show. But imagine that the Manchester United managers, they have no idea what to do either with this guy. So he is a mysterious guy. Hopefully, he looks like he loves to play for France. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he loves to play in a club level, at least not for Manchester United.
Robbo, Pogba or Neymar? You having either in your team if you're building a squad?
I'd have Pogba. I'd have Neymar nowhere near any side that I was coaching. It'd be me or him. And it'd probably be him. He'd probably stay and I'd go. But how can you, and we were talking about Pochettino earlier on. How can you coach somebody like Neymar? How can you have a team shape when you've got somebody that doesn't stick to it or does what he wants to do and then sulks when it's not going his way? Neymar, nowhere near my club. Pogba, when he was at Juventus, I thought he was going to be the world's best player. He hasn't quite done that. He certainly hasn't done that. Something's gone slightly wrong with him. Fitness, maybe. Attitude. Hasn't quite got the ability I thought he had, but I'd still have Pogba to build my team around.
But Seb,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
just what Rob will say, it's me or him. There was a Norwegian coach who was in a dressing room and he said to the striker, listen, my friend, I've talked to the board now. It's either you go or I go. And then the striker looked up and said, well, boss, who do you think they will choose? And 1 week later, the boss was fired. So, Robbo, don't be safe on that one with you and me with Neymar.
Yeah. We'd be gone, don't worry.
That's what I was about to say. Get the news report ready, the headline ready. Robo's going to get fired.
Right.
That's it.
What was left out of that last little anecdote from Jan is that he was the Norwegian player.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
It wasn't Egil Olsen, was it? It wasn't Egil Olsen.
No, it was not. We're not.
All right, last question here. Who was the best South American goalkeeper Alejandro ever played against? Before you give me one name, just throw out like some of the ones that you played against.
Dida, Julio Cesar, some of the Argentinian ones. The problem that they had with Argentina is that they were rotating goalkeepers.
Right.
And now it wasn't the position that they were most focused on. No. I will say, honestly, I'm not going to say who the best one was. I'm going to say who made the best save on me in a key moment. Semifinal, Copa America, Venezuela against Paraguay. I rise up from the penalty kick spot with a header, and let me tell you, it takes something for me to rise up. But I rose up in between defenders. Great header, I think is going in, and Justo Villar, out of nowhere, tips the ball onto the crossbar, goes from the crossbar down to the goal line and out. So we go from potentially winning the game 1-0 with your national hero, this guy, to we went to penalties and lost, no longer a national hero.
That's a sad story. That is a sad story.
Who was it? What was his name?
Justo Villar.
Justo Villar.
From Paraguay.
If not for that save, you might not be here right now.
Well,
managing the Venezuelan team, you might be.
Who knows? Well, I tell you what, I would not be getting fired like Robo is.
The country's loss is ESPN's gain. There we go.
There it is.
Yes.
Who knew? Stuart Robson, always the one able to find that silver lining in the cloud.
I tell you what, I would hire Stewie as my assistant anytime.
Yes.
And he would not get fired.
No.
I would get fired, and then he would take over.
All right, Jan's got to get to bed. Robbo, I'm sure, has lots to do as well. Thanks for being with us here on Extra Time. And a reminder, do not miss tomorrow's edition of ESPN FC. Lots to discuss including that big game between Manchester United and Spurs.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.